Hey everyone, my name is Scott, and let's get started. Another 3 films to get through. Let's do it. Stuber is a comedy that stars Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista. Kumail plays a guy named Stu who, for his day job, works at a sporting goods store, but he has started driving Uber at night to make some extra cash in hopes of opening a spin gym workout place. Being a new Uber driver, he is obsessed with getting 5-star reviews, so he's going out of his way to give great service. Dave Bautista plays an LAPD officer who, in the opening scenes of the movie, has his partner die at the hands of an assassin played by Iko Uwais. You may know Iko from movies like The Raid Redemption and The Raid 2. He is my favorite Indonesian martial arts star. And yes, I have more than one. I've seen a lot of Indonesian martial arts films. They make great action movies in Indonesia. But if you're watching this movie for Iko, you're going to be disappointed he's not in it for very long. And his action scenes aren't particularly well shot, but that's beside the point. This movie's a comedy. So Dave Bautista's partner is killed, and he spends the next several years trying to find her killer, and gets a big tip about his whereabouts the same day he has LASIK surgery. So he needs someone to drive him around. Enter Stu, and comedy ensues. I know this movie did not get very good reviews. I know that the audience score was a little kinder to it, but I know that the professional reviewers were not a fan. I laughed way more than I probably should have during the running time of this film. I don't know, something about it just scratched that comedy itch. Dave Bautista's a funny guy. Kumail Nanjiani has funny moments in this film. They work well together. They have good timing. It's written really sharply. There's a sequence in this movie that you see in the trailers where they throw a gas canister at a car. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but it's edited differently in the final film, and the resulting scene is hilarious. It goes about as well as you would think something like that would go. Something like this could get easily repetitive or grating, but they find new ways to put these characters in different situations where they both can thrive. There's just a ton of jokes, and it made me laugh. It made me happy. Don't judge me. I liked it. Holy crap, Free Solo is a documentary film about a rock climber that climbs free solo climbs. They're without nets, they're without cables. He climbs the faces of mountains with absolutely no safety equipment. This won the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature, and it shows why it won that. I found this movie to be unexpected. I expected there to be a story about a rock climber. I expected all that. What I didn't expect was how deep they dove into the logistics of filming him climbing. The movie surrounds rock climber Alex Honnold as he attempts to be the first person to ever scale the 900-meter rock face of El Capitan in California. And not only the physical training that he has to go through to be able to perform this feat, but the mental training that goes along with it, and the multiple distractions that almost derail the entire attempt. His part of it alone is an amazing accomplishment and an amazing feat of human ability. But like I said, this film dives into the logistics of shooting a documentary of this sort, and I didn't expect that. The co-director of the film is also a rock climber. All of the camera guys are rock climbers, so they put a lot of time into discussing how they're going to shoot Alex well, document what he's doing without trying to distract him, or even worse, pressure him into doing something he's not comfortable with. And they get into not only how they have to rework plans over and over to figure out how to do this so it's never going to be safe, but as safe as possible for Alex as they can possibly make it. But they also get into the waiting game that they have to go through as a film crew. They have to wait quite a bit of time for Alex to get into the mindset where he has the confidence to do what he needs to do. And they even get into the morality of shooting something like this. There's a possibility that these guys could shoot video footage of their friend falling to his death. And they talk about that, and they get into that. And it's really compelling footage. I expected this to be an amazingly shot, well choreographed documentary about rock climbing. What I didn't expect was it to be a great documentary about filmmaking. And the last half hour of this thing is just breathtaking. It is just jaw-dropping what happens. Detroit is a very frustrating film directed by Kathryn Bigelow, who also directed The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. Stars John Boyega as a security guard in Detroit during the 1967 Detroit riots. The movie starts pretty broad in talking about the origins of the riots, but then settles down and focuses on the Algiers Motel. It's where a group of Detroit police officers held and then interrogated a group of African-American kids for an insane amount of time. And by interrogated, I mean they tortured them brutally. By focusing on the riots itself, the film fails to mention the systematic racism that is inherent in the situation that occurred. It's pretty short-sighted as far as what happened before the riots and what happened after the riots. It doesn't put this incident in any context. The performances are all pretty universally good. Worth mentioning is Will Poulter, who plays the main police officer who is in charge of this group who are torturing these kids. He's teeth-grindingly hateable. I've watched interviews with this guy, and he seems like he's a nice person, but he's very good at playing the bad guy. This is not the first movie I've seen him be the villain in, and he's really good at it. You really hate him. But after the incident is over, and the film gets more into law and order mode, it fails to explain why certain things happened in the courtroom. I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but there is one defendant in the courtroom who doesn't seem like he should be represented by a police union lawyer. He's not a policeman, so why is he there? It's never explained. There are a lot of times in the courtroom scenes where I was yelling objection, but the prosecutor was not. And that was super frustrating. That dramatization seemed to, pardon the pun, overrule realism. It's all well shot, it's well orchestrated, but I found the film to be frustrating in its short-sightedness and frustrating in its orchestration in its third act. All right, let's rank these three films. Number one, obviously Free Solo. If you have to see one of these three, that's the one, by a country mile. Not that I didn't like Stuber, number two. I like Stuber quite a bit. It tickled my funny bone at a time that I needed a comedy. I think we all need a comedy right now, but it's the clear number two, and Detroit will be the clear number three. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you next time on 366 in 2020.